Welcome Shrabanee ji and Sandip Da.
Hmm.
Today is our 51 session on Golden Charcha. Today's speaker is our Sandip Dey and special address given by Shrabanee Bhattacharya. Today's topic is given on forensic audit standard.
Hmm.
I request Shrabanee ji to special address for today's session.
Okay, thank you, Chimpu ji. So we are starting with this, and we have CA Sandip Dey with us. So I won't be taking up much time, and he will start his deliberation. Now, forensic audit, as we know, is a specialized investigation using accounting, auditing, and investigative skills to uncover financial fraud, misconduct, or irregularities for potential legal use, going beyond standard audits to find the why and how of financial discrepancies, often to provide evidence for court cases involving embezzlement, bribery, or bankruptcy disputes. It involves meticulous data analysis, evidence gathering, and potential expert testimony, focusing on the issues like money laundering, asset misappropriation, and financial misrepresentations. So, the Digital Accounting and Assurance Board of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India from July 2023 has embarked on the pioneering task of formulating comprehensive standards for forensic accounting and investigations for the industry to tackle the inadequacy led by the lack of uniform process of FAI. Now, the standards thereby provides adequate scope for professional judgment when applying such principles to unique situations and under specific circumstances. So today we have CA Sandip Dey, who will elaborate on the forensic audit standards. CA Sandip Dey is a practicing chartered accountant. He is BCom graduate and a fellow member of our institute. CA Sandip Dey is a qualified DISA from ICAI, a forensic auditor, and an empaneled peer reviewer of ICAI. Mr. Dey is also a member of Institute of Social Auditors of India as a social impact assessor. He has completed various certificate courses from ICAI like concurrent audit of banks, business responsibility and sustainability reporting, and IND-AS. CA Dey is at present managing partner of Dr. Ghosh and Associates. His main areas of practice are statutory audit, internal audit, forensic audit, social audit, CSR audit, IFRS audit, etc. Mr. Dey is at present the co-opted member of the Branch Coordination Committee of EIRC of ICAI. He is a regular speaker in various forums, including study circles, ICAI branches, study chapters, and study groups. And also he is nominated professional member to the West Bengal State Audit Advisory Board since the year 2023. The board performs extensively to scale up the audit quality in the state of West Bengal by the designated audit team of the state. So now I hand over the session to Mr. C.A. Sandip Dey to start his deliberations, and we will be having a patience hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, Shrabanee, for your introduction. Thank you, Chimpu. On behalf of EIRC, you are coordinating the program, today's program of Golden Charcha. So this Golden Charcha is a kind of a thing that EIRC has designated for just like an evening chat that we are here to discuss over various matters, and various speakers are coming and speaking for an hour to the benefit of the members as a whole of this fraternity, and also not only the members restricted to the Eastern region, beyond Eastern region, many members are also joining, and it is open to all for the members, because we all know that we do evening adda. It's a very common in Calcutta that doing and participating in any adda after the office hours is very common to all of us who are Calcuttans. But here it's a unique way that we have started doing adda through studies, through knowledge sharing, and through our upskill, intent to the benefits of the members of the CA fraternity as a whole. So it's a very good thing that we are sitting together, even on the very last day of our of this year, 2025. We are in hours after we will be bidding adieu to our this 2025 year 2025, and we will be approaching to a new year. And with this, we are sharing the knowledge and doing this last adda of the year with the professional topic like this forensic audit. So uniqueness is always with us, the chartered accountants, who are said to be the professionals with some kind of acumen, some kind of knowledge that we always try to upskill ourselves through unlearning and relearning. So I welcome all of you who are participants here and who are listening to this Charcha, particularly on the topic of this forensic audit standards. So being a professional, having qualified through the this certificate course of forensic audit conducted by the ICAI. The course name is FAFD, Forensic Accounting and Fraud Detection. So I have seen that this is going to be the future of our profession, because nowadays we have seen that statutory audits and its associated ancillary services are going a little backward, because it is nowadays a kind of thing that we are doing, conducting our performance. We are conducting our assignments as statutory auditors with a lot of restrictions, because we know that the audit service is based on the basic premise that we are not the auditors. We are not the we are not the investigators, but the auditors. Because we have some limited access, we accept it as in good faith. Whatever the client gives, we have to take it in a good faith. But nowadays, the situations and financial scams that we read in our public media and also in our newspapers and other medias, that these are very common nowadays, that starting from medium size to small size to big size financial scams are happening everywhere. And the audit service is held accountable. So that is the reason why forensic audit is opening up gradually, and it is going to be the future. Because we all are doing we are treated like, there is a very famous quote that we are the watchdog, not the bloodhound, that we have read in the very early stage of our student life, that auditor is a watchdog, not the bloodhound. But this is the high time that the government is also gradually taking many steps so that the statutory and the prime layers of audits are fading away, the scopes are reducing, and we are struggling as professionals. So if we embrace this particular line, like the forensic audit, it is going to be a game changer to all of us, because future, as I'm repeating again, this is going to be the future. And these forensic audit techniques, forensic audit practices, along with AI, digitization, if we don't embrace the digitization technique, proper tool, proper mechanism, how to implement, then we would be totally out of the context, because days are changing very fast. We have to adapt to every single changes coming in our life in future. So Institute is taking a lot of efforts, a lot of changes coming in, a lot of updates are coming in with the digital learning hub that Institute has created. It is a open source, open for all the members and the students, where we can just do the access and learn everything that is stored there. It is a kind of a big repository for us where we can have and gather knowledge. So we are just waiting for the right time to come when this forensic audit will be our bread and butter. And we should not wait till the time when it would be implemented and would be made compulsory for all of us, replacing the statutory audit to forensic audit. We have to prepare ourselves beforehand. So as you know, many of us might be, completed the forensic audit and fraud detection course by a certificate course conducted by the ICAI in the Eastern Zone. But I would request each and everyone, whenever this course is coming up in the news, when in the circulation, when you will receive the email or the messages that this is going to be a next batch of the certificate course on forensic audit and fraud detection, we must join. Those who have not yet participated, those who have not yet completed this certificate course, it is the high time for us to join in numbers and get the degree, because it will change your mindset. How we conduct the audit, that will be totally different. That Shrabanee already has mentioned in his introductory speech, that how these things are taken. We have our audit, we are doing the audit since 20 years, maybe someone is 30, 40, 50 years, we are doing the audit in a traditional manner. But the outlook, the way we do the audit is completely different the way we would be doing the audit in future. Because a lot of things are happening and we are signing the balance sheets with a lot of risks associated with it. That is why that is why we should have our, proper way of changing with the changing scenarios of this audit service. And ICAI is always front runner in this. ICAI globally is the pioneer in setting the standards on forensic audit. We all know the audit standards, accounting standards, standards on related services, standard on assurance services. But how many of us are aware of the standards on forensic audit and investigation accounting standards? So these are very important for us. And even those who have not yet completed the course, in your pastime, you can just open up, log into the digital learning hub, digital platform where these materials are stored, or you can just Google and see what are the standards institute has launched. And as the professional body, ICAI is the first in the world to create the standards for forensic audit. This is so remarkable in all the accounting bodies across the globe that they are now taking the standards from ICAI in doing in conduct of their, not only doing some investigation works. So ICAI is now going to take a leading role on this forensic audit platform. And they have created a lot of standards with different series, 200 series, 200 series, 300 series, 400 series, 500 series. I will just showcase is in my slide very, because we are having only an hour as a very limited time to discuss. So just the main points that where we are just heading to, that I will show in my presentation, a very brief presentation though. So ICAI's standards are so important because the way we do the audit in a traditional manner completely gone. We as an auditor have to place our reports in a different manner, because these forensic audits are going to be a legal support against any crime, any frauds, or anything that can be placed before the courts as the evidence, because this has a legal value, because our statutory audits might not be accepted in any legal platform in the court of law, but these forensic audits are acceptable in the court of law. There is the basic difference between the statutory audit report and the forensic audit report. So it's a legal support to establish and to prove any legal, financial or any kind of fraud that is investigated. In-depth study, that digging into the fact, much deeper, digging into the facts much deeper, because we normally accept any documents at its face value. Whenever we conduct the audit of a traditional nature, say for example the statutory audit, suppose we want to see a fixed deposit certificate, a fixed deposit made by the client. They show that the accountant is on leave, so we cannot show the original certificate, but there is a bank transaction that you can check that there is a fixed deposit. But as an auditor who is doing the forensic audit, that is not the end point where he will not stop, because he has to inquire much deeper that on whose authority that fixed deposit was done. Was it done under some financial interest with any bank, because that bank manager requested the particular person who was in charge of that finance department of that company to do the fixed deposit on that particular time, though the company's liquid fund got converted into illiquid fund, but the bank got benefited because that person has some financial interest or any other interest, and the accountant did that fixed deposit with certain terms and condition with the bank's person. So this is the way, a very small example I am giving, and this is the way how this entire thing is thought for. Any particular sale or purchase transaction that is happening with a particular party year after year, there is no change, there is no renewal of contract, nothing. But year after year, any particular agency is the sole and the main supplier of your raw material. And every year that person is increasing the rate. Your cost of goods sold is increasing every year because of the increased rate of your raw materials. But still, there is no change in the vendor list, in the party list by the company. Why? Why is not? And the company's profit is dripping. Company's profit is slipping down. Gross profit margin, net profit margin, both are slipping down because of increased material. But there is only one agency who is supplying the company the raw material, essential raw material. So there is no change in the decision-making process of the company. As an auditor, when we are doing the statutory audit, we don't check this. But because that may lead to a financial fraud, because this person may have some financial vested interest with that client, the person who is in the PO department or in the Department of Purchase and Procurement. He is continuing the contract every year. And management, maybe they are also involved. They are siphoning out the money through this particular agency. And that is easier for them to do so because he is a known person, because he is in relationship last 20, 15 years. And one day, a big financial fraud may come up in the scenario. Then the entire management, government, everyone will give some importance on these financials of the last 15 years. And who would be held liable? The statutory auditors who signed in last 15 years or 10 years or 5 years the financial statements. Why he has not questioned the renewalship of the agency's supply mechanism? Because the statutory auditors think that he had no purview of checking that. he is only concentrating on the thing that the management is providing to him on a good face value. Because his way of doing the statutory audit is not doing the investigation. He will take it in a good faith. Whatever he checked the bill, client provided the bill, he was satisfied with proper sign and all, not the nitty-gritties or anything that has happened behind the scenes. But investigation auditor or the forensic auditor will go beyond the scene. What is happening backward? Here is the difference. Here is the way, because the expectation from the audit fraternity, the auditor's fraternity, the audit service is changing. Everyone is trying to put a blame on the auditors, saying that the auditors did not check. The auditors faltered in their discharge of their service. But there is auditing standards as issued by the ICAI. There are many standards in place which gives us such kind of rules that we should not investigate. We should not take anything in our suspicion that this document may be a forged document. But in today's complex scenario, complex economic and social scenarios, this is happening. So the role side by side is also changing. So there is going to be a big paradigm shift of the role that we are playing and the role that we are going to play in future, matching the expectation of the society and the regulators, other regulators. Institute may have to come up with more and more audit standards. These audit standards may be linked with the forensic audit standards. Nowadays, we do the sampling, but in the investigation audit, in the forensic audit, there is no sampling. That is the way where many of the audit problems we face, hindrances we face, because we take a sample after some time. When the regulator or other agencies come, they take another sample and they blame that the auditor has failed to select a proper sample, though it is in line with our account auditing standards of audit sampling. So here are, because expectations, because nowadays this AI is also playing something that is quite impactful. Because with the AI tools, with the digitization mode of doing the audits, digitization mode of audit tools implementations, if you put the audit tools which are completely digitized mode of doing the checking services, it will check 100%. So manually, we may not be able to check 100% or even the 50% for a big, large transactions. But in a digital mode, you can. So with the robotic technology, we can do 100% checking. These are coming up, aligning with the forensic audit standards, where the government, regulators, and the societies, all these three collectively putting a lot of pressure on the audit profession that your role is now to be changed. You have to be more restrictive to investigative in nature, not just taking the things blatantly and signing the audit report blatantly with a generalized format, a blanket format that we all know that what kind of independent auditors report that we normally give to the audits. Whatever the size, see the size, nature, complexity of the audit, we all give the same audit reports. Here we need some modification. Here we need some changes. See, a company's audit, a company's profile having 100 crores of turnover and a company's profile of 1 crore of turnover. No bank lending, no external funding from outside, any external funding into the business as a working capital funding. We give the audit report same as that we give for the client having the 100 crore of turnover with external funding and with the bank finances. So here are the things that we have to think, we have to be alert little more actively and think it differently so that we can change ourselves with the change of time. And this thing has come up. That is the only thing that we have to open our mind, open everything, and we have to open our ears, eyes, and brain. This is what forensic audit says about. Now I will just open up the slide, the presentation. I'm sharing it. Is it visible?
Yes.
Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So in the slide, we will discuss with these points. So far, we have whatever we have discussed. Now we will just have a quick look into the ICAI's global leadership in the forensic accounting standards that I have already mentioned, that ICAI is the first ever professional body to launch forensic auditing and accounting standards. So this is a quite remarkable step and a quite game changer to our alma mater for this. They are now global, not local. So this is a big change, big leap to the global platforms. Technology integrations. So these forensic accounting standards need technology integrations. Solely these forensic audit standard and accounting standards will do no good to us unless and until we have technology sync or technology integration with them. Without proper technological skill built, we cannot perform the forensic audit. As simple as that. It is not at all a theoretical part of our doing audit. It is completely using of our mind. Every case, every small to big forensic audit service or forensic or investigative audit service is unique in its own nature. So we cannot compare one work with the other. We cannot take the precedence of one work with the other. Because when the frauds take place, we all know that fraudsters are much more clever than the regulators. So they hit anything that was never thought ever before. So their new trick to hit the financial, debacle, to hit the financial problem or the forgery or embezzlement in a different way that they want to. So every time they will adopt a new technology, a new technique to befool the person who is on the other side. So we have to be very much careful while applying our mind as an auditor, conducting the forensic audit, that our way of thinking, our approach of doing the forensic audit should also be unique. It should have its different mindset, it should have its different thought process, and it should have its totally out of the box thinking that we have to adopt or apply to find the source of the fraud that has happened over the financial figures. And future-proof forensics. So we have to be much more proactive also to stop any organization from the upcoming or intended frauds. That's why we must have our good internal control system, good maker-checker system, and good also the digital system or IT control in place in the organization. So that, because you cannot guarantee the fraud will never come in your organization, in any organization, but at least you can stop the impact, or you can minimize or mitigate the impact to some extent. That's what you can expect from a good system of control in place. This is a kind of theoretical part. So we have already discussed through our interactions. And here I am coming that these are the series of financial audit and investigation standards. There are total 20 standards in place as so far as the institute has launched. These are 100 series. Those start with 100. So 200 series, 300 series, and 400 series. And you just go into the Google's portal or into the ICAI's domain. You will find all these standards in place. So each and every series have its own nature of standards, which the ICAI has elaborated upon. So you will get those who are interested. I don't think that I would say that those who are interested, we have to adapt to all these standards. So I would request you to please spare some of every day, at least an hour you devote on the forensic audit learning or learning the forensic audit standards, at least an hour that we waste hopping through the social media and other digital scraps that we normally find nothing to our professional development, but at least spend an hour every day to learn these forensic audit standards and then go for the course, that the institute's FAFD course, to get the proper degree. And because if you don't have the qualification, if you don't have that certificate, you are not acceptable at your client's level. So taking the not taking the certificate is also equally important to all of you. You may know everything, you may have this knowledge of the standards, but taking the certificate in your favor is equally important. Then chartered accountants in the forensic audit and investigation, that is very important. Here I can tell you that digital forensics with data analytics and the interviewing technique, these are something that we must learn. You also can watch various crime movies. There are many series, many YouTube videos which contain various crime movies, because that will open up your thought process, how the crimes are taking place, how these things, how the fraudster think about thing that we normally in our general mind don't think. This is how we should approach, we should build ourselves, build our knowledge skill. Digital forensics is very important because digital and forensic, these two words together make the single aim of digital forensic. Because what I was already telling you, that learning the AI, application of AI, robotics are very important along with this audit standards, forensic audit standards, because only the standards will do no good unless and until we apply them digitally with our digital skills. One of them obviously is the AI. A lot of new techniques are coming. Also participate in the AI's course of the ICAI. That will also give you a lot of inputs on how these and how many times this jump has happened. This jump from our basic level to the expert level can be done, because these AI course, level 1, level 2, excellent courses that have been designed and for the members by the institute. So if anyone has not yet done or participated in this certificate course on level 1, on level 2, if you have completed level 1, you are only entitled to join in the level 2. So please do participate, learn AI and apply them in the proper area where you can gain some professional development. At least we, the professionals, know how to use our AI for the upskill, for upskilling our professional assignments. Because you may take help of ChatGPT or any other thing, Gemini or Copilot. There are many tools that you might have known about these names and all these things that you might have applied for some of the small to medium kind of tasks, writing a report or this kind of thing. But these are not limited to this. These are something beyond. We cannot depend on them 100%. But if we apply them properly, if we apply them in a proper way of conducting any forensic audit, that can be your very good friend to give a very good outcome of the entire activity. Then interviewing technique, that is, kind of thing that needs a lot of polishing from our side. Interviewing the client, asking the questions is very important part in conducting the forensic audit, because we sometimes forget to ask questions to the client or the client's team or the client's management. Here is again the setback of our statutory audits. We cannot ask questions. Even if we ask, they are not ready to give answer in complete form. If we ask some document even, they will linger, they will take time, they will buy some more time from us, so that someday we forget and we just leave the audit place. But if you are a forensic auditor or an investigative auditor, they cannot say no to whatever question or whatever document that you ask from them. So there is the advantage of an auditor being the forensic auditor over the traditional statutory auditors. Data analytics, data analytic tools, again AI will give us a lot of benefit so that we can learn, we can have the skill of data analytics. And without the digital technique, digital knowledge, digital skill, data analytics is not doable, is not achievable. We cannot get the ultimate benefit from the digital, from the data analytics unless and until we give a proper addition of digital mindset, digital skill to it. If we move to the next one, just like an example, a case study where the Satyam scandal happened, that we all know that how this Satyam scandal happened. There started the way we actually become more conscious about how the Satyam scandal has put its impact on the entire thing, entire socio-economic structure, total audit service, audit fraternity, and those who were all connected and associated with it. Inflated cash and bank balances, we saw that 7,136 crores using the fake bank confirmations. How is it possible without any connivance of the management? How can this be possible by the auditor to be involved in a part of this scam, of this scandal, without the involvement of the entire management? And how the auditor did his audit with this fake balance confirmation? The auditor did not check that. How come this possible? but it happened. Balance confirmation that we take from our clients, there is another standard of audit. I'm just going to that standard of audit, that external confirmation that we have to take. And how can we judge, how can we put our conclusive remark that those external confirmations we have obtained during the process of audit are genuine, are correct? How do we authenticate? How we ask for a ledger of the balance confirmation from a client, from a party of the client whom we are actually auditing. The client brings a piece of paper, signed and stamped, saying that this balance is this in our books. And we take it and we give our audit remark as a clean audit that we obtained the balance confirmation from the external parties. Limitation of traditional audit, that we cannot inquire. We are not allowed to put our investigative mind that this document can be a fake document, because we are the watchdog, not the bloodhound. Basic of audit concept. Auditor is, the audit service is a post-mortem check of whatever is the historical data that we are checking, with something in our mind that we are not the investigator, but we are the auditor. Things are gone, days are gone, new morning is coming. We have to wake up with our new thoughts, new mindset, and a new line of professional services, that is forensic audit. Anything that we can verify and vouch and attest must be double checked, unless, and even in our audit also nowadays, who cares who are going to ask you the questions that you are not allowed to ask this question. If we even ask in our traditional practice that you need anything document that is coming from outside the organization, must be from a proper channel. You write a mail, ask them to give them a proper email. Keep it as your that you have to satisfy yourself that the source from which the document is coming is authentic. To whatever extent it is possible, with a limited scope that we have, make sure of that. And proper document, whatever the practice that we have undertaken during the course of audit, we must document it. Documentation is a very important part that we sometimes forget. We checked everything, we did everything in a proper line and manner, but we did not document it. We kept the working files in the auditee's place, because next time I will be the auditor. When I will again visit after some months, we'll again reopen the documents and we'll go on checking that how this get things, your paperwork may get changed at their place. You never know. Sometimes the client says, you sign the audit, we'll provide this thing after some months, but we have a strict deadline, you have to sign it. Dangerous. Dangerous, because they will never sign and they will never give you the documents unless and until you again come for the next year. And if it is your last time of the audit in the cycle, gone. They will never give you the document. You will run after him or their management. Please give me the document. I have to put it in my working file. So this is the Satyam case. And whatever the weaknesses that we find in our inherent weaknesses in our traditional approach of doing audit are all removed in the forensic audit approach. So good governance is one of the strengths that the company must have. And as an auditor, we must check how good governance is in place in the auditor's business. We have to check. We have to check the director's profile also. Sometimes when we conduct the company audit, sometimes we forget to check the director's KYC is pending year after year. And the director's sign is every time in the audit documents that we upload in the ROC. But out of 5 directors, only 2 directors have done their KYC, and other 3 have not done at all years after years. Why they have not done? Because it's a statutory compliance. It is a statutory requirement that they are actually alive, those directors, to prove that. But we don't care. Sometimes we forget and we take the client's word of mouth as, their in their face value. Whatever they are speaking, whatever they are explaining to us, all correct. They cannot cheat us because their relationship with us is for 5 years, 15 years, 20 years down the line. They cannot cheat us. That is also a very big threat to conduct the audit. There was another fraud in PNB and Shrey on the borrowal frauds, where we found in the late 2025, Punjab National Bank reported a 2,434 crores of fraud with the Shrey promoters, with the misappropriation of funds through evergreening of loans and diversion of to the shell company. So here, big fraud that had happened. The loans were shown as they are good in nature. But though they are non-performing, they were bad in nature. But still, those loans were evergreened, as if you have all green field in front of you. So, masking the bad loans through the false presentation or false ramifications. This had happened. So here again, another eye-opener for all of the auditors who did the audit of Punjab National Bank and also the Shrey. And regulator are more vocal on the audit service of the auditors in a kind that we perform, and the scams coming up every year with a bigger numbers. Kajaria Ceramics, another fraud that had happened. CFO of a perpetrator. Who was the perpetrator? CFO of a subsidiary company, 20 crore over 2 years amount of fraudulent forgery. Fake vendors entity that I was speaking in the very beginning of my speech, that continuous renewal of PO with the same vendor, same agency of supplier of raw material happening. Fake vendor entity. Maybe that company is non-existent, that vendor is non-existent, but still the management is doing this kind of services, this kind of activities through some fake documents and forging approval documents to authorize payments. Forged approval documents from the management were used to authorize all the payments that they raised. And this was done through data mining service and system loophole intent. Data mining is another thing that we have to adapt in discharge of our professional service. Very important one, data mining. How to dig into the matter with a big data. If you are given with a big data is such a big voluminous data that we normally don't handle in our field. But when we are into the forensic audits, when we are into investigative audits, we may have to handle with the big data. So there we have to do data mining, proper filtering of data for effective use in giving our decision or our opinion, right? What are the futures? AI and machine learning. I was already talking about this. These are the most important tools or techniques that we have to adapt if we want to really know and learn and use and apply the forensic audits. Without AI and machine learning technologies and techniques, not possible. Future proofs. All CAs that are in the practicing line must adapt to AI. AI, AI, and AI in its proper use. Because even the low level of activities that the people who are junior in your organization, they must also learn. So it is as the principle of our firm, of our organization, it is our duty to make them aware, learn them, to send them in the programs where AI techniques and tools are being taught. So that because those are the workforce, those who work for our firm. So juniors are also to be equally adapt to the AI services. Global export, ICAI is now taking the royalty, have started taking the royalties on these forensic audit standards because they are the first one to launch any standards on forensic audit globally. So all global bodies, CPAs, ACCAs, CA Institute of any foreign countries like Australia, they are trying to use and adopt the standards that have been launched by the ICAI, the Indian Institute, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So that is a proud moment for us because they are giving royalty. ICAI is taking the royalty from these foreign bodies and the iconic one to start first. Next, we have to do the benchmarking. That is very important. With the global, you just read out the global fraud cases, how the global fraud cases have happened and how those have been solved, how those have been identified, how those have been properly channelized to find the fraudster in the end. So these things that we have to do through the global benchmarking and apply our standards to it. Role of CAs are increasing, role of CAs are evolving. So not only the practicing chartered accountants, those who are in the service, they are also required to learn the forensic audits, data forensics, data analytics, digital forensics, because they may play a role in the organization where they belong as the CFO, maybe the CAO, or maybe other vigilant position. So they may act as the proper safeguard to fraud being happen in their organization with this concept, in this knowledge. And what are the resources and actions item that we have to take? ICAI's compendium. ICAI has launched the compendium on the digital, on this forensic audit and investigative audit standards. So please go to those standards and put some certain time of your daily schedule so that you can have a knowledge before you go to any course, at least gather some knowledge beforehand. So it will be easier for you to get through the course properly. Implementation guides. Institute has launched the implementation guides. Please go through it. And lastly, the FAFD certification course. That is most important and very well-designed course for all the chartered accountants who are, forensic audit aspirants. So this is from my side, whatever I had in my mind to discuss in this Adda, in this Charcha. So I have completed my side. So if anyone wants to ask any question, it's open for them. Anything that question that anyone want to ask to me, I'm ready to answer. From the group, anyone is willing to ask any question so that I can answer, or else we can take it as over. So, Chimpu, from your side,
Is there any question from audience or participation?
I don't think it was so well organized and so nicely given by Shondit. So I think
কোনো
participants.
question तो আসছে नहीं, question answer है
ठीक है, no problem.
तो ठीक है जी मैडम, आप closing दे दीजिए.
So we can put the closing remark here.
Yes, yes. So we had really, now we know that forensic audit is our future. And if we want to be in the trend, then we have to take the help of our AI tools and the forensic audit tools which Institute is providing us with. And so we are, we have enough guidance is there. We just have to lap it up. And thank you, Shondip, for such an enriching session. Thank you, Chimpuji, to be the coordinator of this session. And thank you, EIRC, for providing the platform and this Golden Charcha for us to interact and have a very good evening. And the last evening of this 2025, as we are bidding adieu to this year, and the new year is coming with new scopes for us professionals. Yes. So
thank you, Shrabanee, for your time also. And wish everyone a very happy new year.
Yes, a very happy new year to everyone.
And really a new year with the new vibes.
Yes, yes, of course. We will meet again and we will continue our Charcha in the coming year again.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chimpu.
Happy New Year to all of you.
Happy New Year तुमको भी.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, Dada.
अच्छे से साल बिताओ, last few hours.
Yes.
नया साल का
last few years, though we have many things in our hand till 12 o'clock tonight.
Yes, though we have some deadlines to meet.
Deadlines are always there.
अभी भी है deadline meet करना है,
तो
hopefully
we are thankful that you could, take 1 hour and give us such an enriching session from that. Thank you.
I also thank Vishnu Kumar Tulsian,
yes,
Chairman EIRC, for his initiative.
Yes.
And maybe he is not here today, but from our side, we give him a very good, thankfulness.
Thankful
for
this.
Yes.
Okay.
And thank you very much for all of you, those who have participated and got the, knowledge sharing.
Yes. Okay.
So, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And bye.
And so now, bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Yes.
Leaving.
Yeah, I'm leaving then. Okay.